Welcome back to the Strong Opinion Hibs podcast. As always, I'm Jack. No Calvin today, but I am joined by Charlie. How are you, Charlie?
I'm good, mate. I slept in, so I'm trying to catch myself awake, but I'm all right. How are you?
I'm fine. But a bit of old jip with my tooth recently, so I've been a bit sore, but still soldiering through the pain for the podcast. So there you go. I'm loyal to the cause. So just our usual little midweek episode this week to review Ross County, the upcoming fixture against Ross County. Also talk about the cup draws and Leah Eddy getting called up to the Scotland squad as well. And also we've got Charlie's High B quiz at the end of the episode. So an action-packed episode for you today. And we'll jump right into it. Ross County, they're making the trip down from Dingwall to Easter Road on Saturday. Charlie, what are your feelings heading into the
game? Hopefully we can carry the momentum from last weekend's win in Arbroath into the game. I'd like to see us play with the same sort of intensity that we had after we got that first 5-10 minute spell out of the way at Arbroath. I'd like to see us start with that intensity of the game and just take the game to Ross County, because I think they've been good of late. You kind of take that away from them. They're in good form. So I would like to see us rise to that, just like we did with Arbroath, who were in good form as well. But no, I think I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be an end-to-end game, and I think we'll see a few goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm quite confident heading into it, because I think, and I have been saying this, that if there's a team to turn it around against, it is Ross County. They are a good side, no doubt in that. Obviously, they're in good form. Malky Mackay has got them well drilled. Obviously, they've got some big results recently, especially that draw against Rangers a few weeks ago. So I think, yeah, they're a well drilled side. They're an experienced side. They've got some really good players in there. But I think if we play anywhere near to the level we did against Arbroath, and like you said, keep the intensity, keep that attacking football going, and stick our chances away as well when we need to, I think we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine, and I think we will get the win. Now, obviously, Ross County's last visit to Easter Road was a 3-0 win back at the start of the season. Obviously, that was back when things were all still very well under Jack Ross. Seems like ages ago now that we were that good. But yeah, do you think we'll be able to match that performance, or do you think it'll maybe be a big ask, considering that we had McGuinness back then and we had a fully fit squad? Obviously, you had a fully fit Doidge, you had McGuinness. So do you think we will match that performance, or do you think it's going to be tough to sort of reach that level again?
I think it'll be tough, but I think we've got it in us to do it. I think we're obviously a different team now, different players. But no, I think we've got it in us to. We've been saying it for a week, or at least I've been saying it for weeks. We are due someone an absolute battering, and I think we've got it in us to do it. I don't think it'll be this weekend though. I think, but we've got it in us for those types of performances, mate. We always have. You see that. I'm not going too far back on myself here, but you see that against Rangers in the semi-final back in November. We've got it in us to absolutely batter someone. So no, I think it'll be a hard ask to match that performance, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we did.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're more than capable of it as well, and I agree with you. We are due somebody a battering. We're due a big result, and we are due a big 3 or 4-0. And I think, again, Ross County is a team to do it against. We have a relatively decent record against them at Easter Road, which is actually quite rare with these sorts of teams. You look at your St Mirren's, your Motherwells, we don't actually have all that good of a record against them at Easter Road, but we have a decent record against Ross County at Easter Road. So I think we're more than capable of it. And we are more than capable of, I think, dishing out a hammering, but we need to stick the chances away. That's the most important thing for me, is you only get to these score lines by putting the ball in the back of the net when we have the chances. Now, it doesn't mean every chance needs to find the back of the net, but it means we need to be taking the decent chances when we have them, like we did against Arbroath. Like, most of our decent chances we took. You look at that, Kevin Nisbet's, Mueller's, Mitchell's, they were all really decent chances, and that's what we need. You just need 3 of those to find the back of the net, which sort of conveniently brings us on to our next point. Charlie, mate, what do you think we need to do to beat Ross County?
It's a hard one, because obviously the natural answer is scoring more goals than them. But I think, going off that, I think My biggest thing going into this is I want to see the same team that started last weekend, and I want to see a bit more consistency in the lineups. I'm all right if he, for example, if Hanlon's fit, if he maybe drops Rocky and puts Hanlon back in, I'm okay with that. But the bulk of the squad needs to remain the same, and I think we just need to play with that same attacking intensity like we've seen last weekend. And I think we should get the win based on that. And I think also just be tight at the back as well. Like I think we were sort of better at being tight at the back last weekend, but there was still those few wee opportunities that Arbroath shouldn't have had that they had. So tight at the back, same team ish, and just be attacking. And I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the main thing for me is squad rotation. I mean, I think there's been a little bit too much of it recently, and it harks back to previous points. And all three of us have made when we've had full houses. I think you and me have said that a lot as well. That we need consistency in the lineup. I don't think that Maloney knows his best 11 yet.
I think these
tweaking it.
injuries he's had haven't helped at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You know, because you look at it, you've got Melkerson who had that little spell out injured, and he's getting him up to match sharpness. So that's something to consider. You've got Clark out when he comes back, which I think it looks like he's making decent progress on that, as we've seen on social media. So you've got Clark once he's back, that gives you a dilemma. McGuinness, we're probably not going to see him again this season, but again, he's in there. If when he's fit, if you sort of see what I mean. So there is a lot to consider with the lineup as well. And you've got players that have hit good form, like Louis Stevenson. So yeah, it is really, really tough for Maloney to pick a team, but it needs to sort of get. I think we've seen it at the women's team. We talked about the women's team as well. That I think not having a consistent lineup is what kills us sometimes. You've seen that with results like Partick and Aberdeen with the girls. That it's because they've not had a consistent lineup. It's the same with the men's team, I think, right now. The guys, I think Maloney just needs to look at it and evaluate it and go, this is what I've got. And I agree with you. Like, obviously, you can maybe drop Rocky out for Hanlon once Hanlon's fit. If Rocky's had a poor game or Rocky needs rested, then obviously you can bring Hanlon in place of him. I think that's not a problem. But apart from that, I think you just need to pick a squad. And if injuries and match fitness allow, you've got to just stick with it. The other one for me is, tight at the back, but also, and I think I'll sound like a broken record at this point, and I apologise to the listeners for that, but stick the chances away. It's as simple as that. You know, I think that's what and I know it seems like that's like rule 101 of football is to beat a team, you need to score more goals than them. That's our problem. You know, I think St Mirren, they were there for the taking. St Mirren were there for the taking, the way we started the second half. Didn't stick the chances away. One moment of madness, and that's them, and we go and ruin it. I think same against Rangers. I think even though we were 1-0 down, we were still in the game, and we didn't stick the chances away. So I think that's the main thing, and you're going to get us. I think Ross County, St Mirren, teams like that, you're going to get it if you don't put your chances away. They'll end up punishing. Just it's as simple as that. So you just need to stick your chances away. Like I said, no every chance needs to find the back of the net. It's those 3 or 4 good chances. They find the back of the net, and you get a confident win, and that's it. You know, that's it for me. And also, no silly mistakes. We need to cut the silly mistakes because you've got guys like Charles Cook that are going to pounce on any silly mistakes like that and cause us problems. So I think we need to cut it out. And this is the sort of game where I think we need to be a bit more direct. I said that against Arbroath. Maybe I like the sideways and backwards to try and open a team up. I think it's good, but there's a time for that. We need to be direct first of all because Ross County are a sort of team that they don't like you getting in their face. Another thing, and I've said that about quite a lot of these teams, but every team down this neck of the woods of the table are like this. They need to be put away. They won't go away. They need to be put away, Ross County. So that's important. I mean, we've learnt that lesson. You look at the 2-0 game at Easter Road during the lockdown season when Ollie Shaw came back to bite us. You look at that game, that was a key example. We didn't take our chances, and Ross County got 2 really good chances and ended up going 2-0 up. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. We just need to be clinical and we need to cut out the silly mistakes. So, that's it for me. That's my little bit of I wouldn't say a rant, but that's my little bit of my sort of soliloquy there because you didn't have a chance to speak. So, I'll give you a chance to speak, Charlie, and we've sort of touched on it, but what do you think the starting 11 is going to look like, and who would you like to see in the team on Saturday?
I'd like to see it be the same, mate. Obviously there's still injury problems, so I don't imagine Newell will be back or Hanlon will be back. Maybe they will, who knows? Because there's not really been a timeline on them. But no, I think I would like to see it. I'd like to see the same team that started last weekend, just for consistency's sake. Like, I think sometimes when you've got a few injury problems, you just need to pick a team and stick with it until the injuries are back. And I think Maloney's that's maybe been his downfall. Not that I'm saying he's had a downfall by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that's maybe been his biggest problem so far as a Hibs manager, that he's not played the same. At least I don't think he's played the same team twice. You know what I mean? Like, I think we need
Not that I can recall.
the same bodies, and I think the bulk of the players that he's playing that he played last week are probably his strongest players. If you know what I mean? Like, I think obviously it was good to see Jasper start, and I think he came off after 60 minutes because he's not got the legs to play 90 yet. So I think, that's good. That I'd like to see us play the same team. No changes for me, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see, if he's up to full match sharpness, I would like to see Melkerson start. I think it's a good game to bring him in for, to be honest. I think it's a game we sort of need him. Although, having said that, I think interestingly, I was reading an article that Tam McManus had written for, I can't remember what paper it was, but he'd written an article saying, he does think that Nisbet will find his form again.
I think so. I think Nisbet, the way he took his goal last weekend, that's the Nisbet we've seen. That's the Nisbet we've seen last season.
Exactly. And that could be the start of a run, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I hope so.
I think if we can, it would be great to have Melkerson and Nisbet up front together.
I'd like to see Melkerson come off the bench for the last 15 minutes. Like
that at least. I'd just like to see him, to be honest. I would love to see him start, because I think him and Nisbet, would maybe partner quite well together. And I'd like to see Jasper start again, because I think he proved that he could start. And
he's fantastic.
On a better surface against a team like Ross County, all those skills that he does in his direct style of play, that'll help. That'll massively help our cause. So that's it for lineup, really. And then I think the whole Macy Dabrowski debate sort of been put to bed. I think he's just going to stick with Macy now. I think Dabrowski only played because Macy was injured, and that's just an unfortunate reality. I would like to see Dabrowski start, but I doubt it. I really do doubt it. But this might be Macy's chance to shine. He might keep a clean sheet, which would be nice. I think it would be good for his confidence if he did keep a clean sheet. So we'll just quickly move on, mate. Score predictions for Saturday.
3-2 Hibs.
3-2 Hibs.
I think we'll get a few goals. Like, I think we'll just edge it 3-2.
I'm going to say 4-1 Hibs. I think they will score. I do envisage them scoring. But I think it'll be the game where we get a lot of goals. So I'm going to say 4-1 Hibs. Confidence. So that concludes our little section previewing Ross County on Saturday. So an exciting game, and hopefully back to winning ways in the league, and turning the league form around. We're going to move on to the cup draws. Obviously, both the guys and the girls had their cup draws take place. So we'll start off with the cup draw that came out first, which was obviously Hibs Women in the Scottish Women's Cup. They drew Partick Thistle away after their 12-0 win against Gartcairn. So, Charlie, what do you think of that? Partick Thistle away. One of the trickier ties we could have got out of the hat, but still avoiding the Glasgow 2, avoiding Celtic and Glasgow City, which is quite good. So, what gives your reaction to the draw?
It's obviously not the easiest tie in the round. I would have liked somebody that's not in our league, but no, I think it's a winnable tie. I think the girls have to win these kind of games. Like Partick Thistle, who are they in the grand scheme of things in the women's game? You know what I mean? Like, the only teams that we should be either drawing or losing to are the Glasgow 3. No questions asked. So no, I think it's one more win, but it's like you say, it's not the easiest tie in the round, but it's not the hardest tie in the round either. So I'm happy with it.
Absolutely, I'm the same. I think I would have preferred the winner out of Stirling Uni or Falkirk. That's still to be played, because you were either facing SWPL2 or a Championship South team. or Kilmarnock. Or I would have quite liked Hearts as well, to be honest. At Easter Road or Tynecastle. I think it would be good to get a big cup tie against them, Easter Road or Tynecastle. But I think, yeah, Partick. Obviously, we don't particularly have a good record against them. We lost the last time we played them out in Glasgow, so I think it's tough. And Petershill Park's a tough place to go to play them as well. So I think it will be an interesting game, but I think we'll get through it and hopefully book another trip to Forth Bank as well. And I think, you know what, we should be in the cup to win it this year. We're more than capable of it. I think with Rangers out and with Glasgow City and Celtic, both, I think we've proven before in previous years that we can give Celtic and Glasgow City a run for their money. So I think with Rangers out of it, I really do think we have a big chance at the cup this year, which would be great because obviously all depending on UEFA, that could mean Champions League football next season. So there's another motivation for it. So it's a tough one, but I think we'll get through it and hopefully the girls bring the cup home. So we'll move on, and later on that day after the Peterhead Dundee game, we learnt of our opponents in the men's Scottish Cup quarter final. That was, of course, Motherwell. She's fine, thank you. Fir Park, a brilliant tie. I'm absolutely happy with that one. Fir Park's a great place to go, and also the games against Motherwell were always really entertaining. Obviously that 0-0 game this season aside, but even then that was still entertaining for a 0-0. So, you know, another good tie. Charlie, what are your reactions to that one?
It's one of the two. It's one of the two in the hat that I wanted. I wanted either Motherwell or Dundee. So no, I'm happy with that. I'm buzzing. It's an away game though. Like I just love Fir Park because it's it's a tight ground. Both sets of fans will be proper buzzing for it. Quarter final, big ask. Big task and big ask. Win this year at Hampden. Massive opportunity for Maloney to lead his team out of Hampden. Massive opportunity for Motherwell as well because they don't get to Hampden as often as we do. They've been pretty regular in the past couple of years, but apart from that, they're not as regular as we are. But and that's, I'm not taking the mick at them or that for that. But no, I think I'm buzzing for it, mate. I'm hoping it's a Saturday. The Sunday just doesn't work for me with work, so I probably wouldn't be able to go. But watch it be the Sunday now, just me saying that. But no, I think it's a big opportunity for us to get back to Hampden, mate. I think it's one we probably should win. We've beat them there already this season. They've not beat us this season at all. So again, watch this be the game they beat us. But no, look, mate, I love Fir Park. The games against Motherwell are always good watches, regardless of where they are. So I'm happy with that. I've seen people saying that they wanted Hearts, and I would have taken Hearts, but I also hope that they get beaten this round, so they're not going to Hampden because Hibs against Hearts at Hampden doesn't have a good ring to it. So
no.
I would love us to get to Hampden again. And I think we will, mate. I think we'll beat Motherwell. We beat them at this stage last year, so I think we will win.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Obviously, put them out on penalties in last season.
I don't think I'd like to watch us play them on penalties again this year. But I forgot it went all the way to penalties.
Yeah, I went all the way to penalties, which it was a really entertaining game, I must say. Again, the Motherwell was always a fixture that does provide entertainment. So yeah, I was really happy. I was the same as you. I wanted them or Dundee. And away as well, I think it's good to get a good away tie because our away form always seems to be better than our home form recently. So
especially in the Scottish Cup.
Especially in the Scottish Cup, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky tie to negotiate. Obviously, I think Motherwell are a really good team, but we'll do it. I think we're more than capable of it. And yeah, it'd be great to see Maloney lead the boys out at Hampden, and hopefully, again, Scottish Cup, we should be in it to win it, especially avenging the demons of last year as well. I've got to say.
And this season already.
Yeah, exactly. We've got demons to eschew from Hampden as well. So hopefully we can bring the Scottish Cup home. Now, looking at the two ties, I think which team's more likely to get through confidently? I'm putting my money on Hibs women against Partick. What are your thoughts on that?
That's probably the more likely confident one. I think the Hibs women's probably more likely to go through confidently, but I think both
will go through.
I think both will go through.
Now, the other one is Do you think, now it's not been done since 2016, but do you think both Hibs teams could bring the cup back to Leith this year? Obviously, I think it's a big ask for both. If you ask me, I think the guys are probably more likely to win it than the girls, because obviously you've got Celtic and Glasgow City both doing really well right now. So do you think both could bring it home? Or if not, who's more likely to lift the cup this year, if at all?
I think both can. I don't think both will. I think the Hibs men are more likely to lift it than the women.
Absolutely.
But
Unfortunately.
I'd love that, like if we won the cup. But no, I think probably the men are more likely to win it.
Yeah.
It's on the 21st of May as well, if you believe in any omens or
Believe in
that.
fate.
So
We have a McGinn and a Henderson and a bald right back.
And a bald right back. So, and the next Celtic player managing us. So if fate is going to do us a turn, then it's probably everything's adding up. So
there we go.
There we go.
We've cussed us now. Also, Hearts are on a similar run to that final that we won't mention. So if fate goes the other way, it's time to barricade yourself in the house already. Anyway, well, I mean, I believe in fate. The last time we had a similar run to the finals of a Scottish Cup, the girls beat Glasgow City on penalties and the guys beat Rangers. So, or I should say the Rangers, sorry. I keep forgetting about that. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Obviously, best of luck to both teams and bring the cup back to Leith. So that brings us on to our last little bit before we move on to the quiz, and that was, of course, Leah Eddy getting called up to the Scotland squad for the Pinatar Cup to replace injured players. Obviously, Erin Cuthbert got sent back due to injury, so Leah Eddy stepped in, which is why she couldn't come on the podcast. So we're looking forward to having you on at another date, Leah. And I think I was trying to figure out why, and then I realised it's because she's off to Spain with the Scotland squad. So I think that's great for Leah, absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, Scotland lost their opening game of the Pinatar Cup against Wales yesterday. After going 1-0 up, Scotland ended up losing 3-1, which that sounds familiar. That's back to good old Scotland, not the successful Scotland we've been having at all levels of the game recently. That's back to good old Scotland, 1-0 up and then throwing it away, especially against what isn't maybe the best Wales team in the world, I'd say. Probably quite a poor Wales side, to be honest. So that's quite worrying. But to be fair, we did have quite a rotated squad. Unfortunately, Leah was an unused sub in that game. I'm hoping that Leah can get minutes in the future Pinatar Cup games. But it's great to see Leah out there, and it's great to see Hibs women getting represented internationally. We also got Rosie Livingston with the under-17s, I think it is as well, who are down in Wales for a little tournament. Will be down in Wales for a little tournament at the weekend in Wrexham. So yeah, that's great to see getting represented at international level, especially Rosie. I think I think she's good enough to maybe go into the 19s or the 21s eventually. So that's good. So Charlie, what's your thoughts on seeing Hibs women getting represented well at the national team level?
It's good, but it's not good enough. There's definitely a few players in that Hibs team that should definitely be in that squad, but for whatever reason, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
like Cav, like Amy Gallagher.
I think even Siobhan would do it. Even Siobhan Hunter would do a job in that Scotland team right now. I think you partner her with Jen Beattie, two big, imposing centre halves. I think that would be brilliant, and I think that's something Scotland have been lacking. But I'm not the manager, so I'm not going to because I don't get me started on it. I will be going down a rabbit hole with me ranting about it. But yeah, I think Cav, Amy Gallagher, and Siobhan Hunter as an outside contender should be there. But great to see Rosie at youth level, and obviously Ailey Adams would have been in the 19 squad, but obviously she had a little injury, so hopefully she'll be back soon and she can be in the 19 squad, because Ailey more than deserving of a place in the 19 squad, and what is a very good 19 squad, I'd hasten to add as well right now. So yeah, and also I think it's disappointing. I think you could have brought Leah on in that game. It's not because she got her first cap against Wales as well, so it's not a good Wales side. You could easily give her a run out in a game like that instead of playing the big players. So yeah, unfortunately, but it's still great to see, especially because Leah has been working so hard this season, and arguably I'd say she's one of, if not the best sort of defenders in Scotland, Leah Eddy. Great young player, so hopefully she'll get her chance for Scotland. And that concludes our little chat about Hibs women internationally there. So we'll now move on to Charlie's quiz. So Charlie is going to test my Hibs knowledge and possibly get some revenge for my quiz in the past couple of weeks. So Charlie, the floor is yours. You're the quiz master. I'm ready.
Okay, so 6 questions, Jack. 3 about men, 3 about women. As is the norm for the quiz now, which I like. So first question: George Best played 17 times for Hibs. How many goals did he score?
Right. Oh God. Right. He played 17 times for Hibs right now. He was fat and old and drunk at that point. It wouldn't have been many. I know. It's just sorry to take hijack a quiz and take it aside, but I remember my dad telling me a story that he was a young lad and my granddad took him down Easter Road to see George Best. It was meant to be George Best's debut, but George Best didn't make his debut because he was lying pissed in the Cali Hotel, slept in, and missed the game. So there you go. I just thought I'd tell that little story about 70. That's to deflect from the fact that I'm really struggling here. 17 games. I'm going to say he scored 5 goals.
Just nearly, mate. He scored 3, which is a shock because I thought he would have scored a lot more than 3. But like you said, he was drunk.
That was right at the end of it. Like he was struggling at that point, and he was still probably one of the best players in Scotland at the time as well. Yeah. Scottish football in the 70s was not good.
No. Well, on to number 2. Hibs have played a total of 100 games in Europe. This is still the men. How many games have we won?
Out of 100? Mm-hmm. Oh, Christ. This is going to be a guessing game here. Right, now that we've lost a few that I can remember, but going back, and there's all those Intertoto Cup games as well that we played sort of early 2000s. I'm going to say out of the 100, we won 75.
You have high expectations for Hibs in Europe, mate. We've only won 44, which is all right because it's nearly half. Like that's fair
enough. That is nearly half. But I thought it'd be more. I was just trying to think like like qualifying we'd been through and everything like that. So that was more my sort of guess there. But well, there you go. Shows you all these folk that call me a happy clapper. It's maybe justified now.
So you're 0 for 2. Hopefully you can get your first point here. So which player is Hibs' record transfer fee received for?
Easy, Scott Brown. Scott Brown, 4.4 million from Celtic.
In 2007. Aye, there you go.
Yeah, see that? Oh, good. I got a point. Yeah, Scott Brown. Funnily enough, I was going to put that in my quiz last week and left it out. Yeah, aye. Scott Brown. And that's just one that a lot of folk know. It's hard to believe that we got that. But I mean, imagine how much that is today in today's money. That's probably well over 10 million in today's money. So yeah, I think that was brilliant. And a player that was worthy of a fee like that, to be honest, as well.
He was good, wasn't he? Right, okay. So we're on to the women's questions, Jack. You probably should get 3 here. What year were Hibs women founded?
1990. As Hibs women or as like in general? Like as
just
in the club?
In general.
I'm going to go and take a guess at 1997.
Bang on, well done, mate. But they started as someone else, then reformed as.
Yeah, reformed, and then became part of Hibs. Yeah, it's quite a convoluted in history. And Glasgow City were only a year later as well, 1980. So we're the originals. Hibs and Glasgow City are the originals.
So, in the current squad, Jack, how many non-Scottish players are there?
3. Tony, Alexa, Gabby.
I was trying to see if I would catch you out there, but I never.
Easy. Our 3 Americans.
Aye. There we go. And last question. How many times have Hibs women been runner-up in the league?
That is difficult because there's all the years that we have come behind Glasgow City. And then there's a few before that. So, right, Glasgow City won it 15 years in a row. We didn't come second last season. We didn't. I'm going to guess we've been runners-up in the league 10 times.
Oh, unlucky, mate. It was 9.
There we go.
So you got 3 out of 6 there, mate. That's good.
That's not bad. That's not bad, I will say.
I'll maybe ask Calvin the questions later on. See if he knows.
See if Calvin knows. We'll test Calvin's knowledge when we see him later.
Because we're having a wee podcast day out later on, so that'll be good fun.
That will be until we all end up in the shells at least Street Station. Anyway, so that brings us to an end. to the end of this episode. Great quiz, Charlie. I think quite a bit easier than my quizzes, to be honest.
I like to give you a chance, eh? When I get 6 out of 6, I probably need to make the quizzes a bit easier. But nah.
Yeah, definitely. So that concludes this episode. Thank you so much for listening, folks. We'll be back next week to review Ross County
with a guest, Jack, on Monday.
With a guest as well. So that'll be exciting. And we've also got Leah Eddy coming on soon when she returns from the Pinatar Cup.
And we've also got another wee special episode coming up. Like the Ron Gordon one, we've got someone from Hibs coming on very soon to the podcast as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that on the Twitter when we announce it.
Loads of exciting stuff, folks. So until next time, glory to Hibs.